If you can create good edits but you don't know how to stylize them, then you might be missing out on a lot of views. So in this video, I'll show you how to take your videos from this to this. I will teach you my complete process so you can make animations that actually draw attention. But first you need to understand that minimalism is often a better choice. Think of Apple. But if you create documentaries, 3D edits, or you simply want your stuff to look good, then it's worth to know the techniques I'm gonna cover today because they will help you stand out. First, you need to figure out what you want to edit. For example, I recently started watching the NBA more, so we're gonna use SGA as our main subject, especially after Thunder eliminated the Lakers in the playoffs. Well, today's edit would be about LeBron if they pulled it off, but yeah. SGA is cool too. So, I grabbed the photo, removed the background, and that's where we're gonna start building our animation. But you're probably wondering, how did I even get the idea for the scene? Well, I actually struggled in the beginning. The only thing I knew was that I wanted to keep that Blue Thunder vibe from the jersey, but nothing was really popping into my head. So like every video editor would do, I went over to Pinterest and I looked for inspiration there. I just needed a small hint, and I actually found that picture. It's not even that close to the final edit, but it gave me enough direction to know where I wanted to take that scene. So now here's a trick I use a lot. When I want to create a scene, I start with one still frame, just one frame. You can think of it like you'd be creating a poster instead of a video. It's way more manageable than the entire edit. Once I've stylized that one frame, then I add depth and movement to get that 3D feel. But before we get into the real sauce, quick reminder. When you are building animations from scratch, it can sometimes take hours of your time. But with Motion Essence, it takes seconds. All animations are fully customizable and also you get free updates. Link is in the description, and now let's get back to the show. I know I have fried your dopamine receptors with this intro, but now try to focus because we're gonna get into the good stuff. You can either just watch the tutorial to understand the patterns, or you can open After Effects and stylize this edit with me. That being said, let's get straight into it. So we are back in Adobe After Effects, and remember guys, you got all the necessary assets for this tutorial in the description below. Real quick, I'm gonna show you the comp settings. Today we're gonna be working with 1920 by 1080, and we're gonna set the frame rate to 15, which is perfect for documentary editing style. Duration 10 seconds, and let's hit OK. First thing I'm gonna do is grab SGA onto the timeline, and then I'm gonna reposition him. Alright, so the first thing that is gonna change the game here is adding a little bit of glow. So for this, we're gonna head over to the shapes. I'm gonna press and hold and grab ellipse tool. And then somewhere on the chest, I'm gonna create a circle while holding shift. Now in terms of the color, you can pick whatever you want, but since we got the blue shirt, we're gonna use that particular hex code. Just use something bright. Let's hit OK. And then we're gonna rename the layer to glow. And we're not actually gonna use glow effect, but something different. I'm gonna go ahead and type in CC radial fast blur. And what I'm gonna do here is change the amount to 99. And then I'm gonna change zoom to brightest. Now as you can notice, our glow is kind of leaning towards the upper side. So what we need to do is make sure it's spread out all over the place. So I'm gonna go over here to the center and I'm gonna grab this. And I'm gonna click on the middle of the circle. Alright, so this is gonna be perfect for our effect. And now I'm gonna place glow below SGA. So it's already looking really nice, and now we can proceed to the next thing. And actually our next step will be adding something to the background. So for this, we're gonna grab the prepared asset, which is SGA-BG, and we're gonna drop it on the bottom. So now what you want to do is adjust scale to fill out the frame. That picture in the background is gonna be barely visible, but whenever you put something there, it's just gonna be better than pitch black. Obviously depending on the case, but right now I'm kind of trying to create a poster, and then we're gonna build from there. So starting off with some of the effects, we're gonna apply tint first. And we kind of want to keep the whole image in that blue vibe. So I'm going to head over to map white 2, and here we're going to paste that hex code. Let's hit OK. And then you always want to play around with the intensity of the colors. So for example, Shay over here is going to be the brightest, and we don't want to take any attention from him by intensifying that color in the background. We should actually make it even darker. So what I'm going to do is apply exposure, and then I'm going to change it to -4.75. So for that poster vibe, it's going to be a little bit better than just having empty background. Especially once we add effects, that background picture is gonna be very visible, but just still having a little bit of details over there, it's just gonna work in our favor. Now what we want to do is put grid on our background. So for this, I'm gonna right click, go over to new, solid, and over here rename it to grid, and then hit OK. Now we're gonna apply grid effect, and we're gonna have to fix some settings over here. So starting off with the color, we're gonna change it to blue. Let's paste that hex code, and then hit OK. Then I'm gonna go over to size from, and we're gonna change it from the menu to width slider. So this is gonna make an even grid, and it's gonna be easily controllable over here. So you want to set the width to 110, and then we're gonna set border to 2.5. Then we're gonna place the grid below the glow, and we're gonna actually pre-compose it. So right click, go over to pre-compose, and just call it grid. Now the reason we wanted to pre-compose it is because we're gonna create a mask, and you couldn't do it on grid alone. So I'm gonna grab the ellipse tool, then with this selected, I'm gonna create a mask like that. Actually, let me fix that. So now we're gonna need to feather it out, so I'm gonna press on this layer and then I'm gonna hit F and we're gonna change it to 180. So now we went from this to this. And whenever you're fading away the mask, it's just looking absolutely fantastic. So now we're gonna color grade SGA to make him look a little bit better on the poster. So for this, I'm gonna apply Lumetri color and we're gonna start off with my favorite technique, which is basically going to color wheels and we're gonna drag shadows towards the blues. Not a lot, just a little. Alright, so this is already matching the vibe even more. So before and after. Actually a lot of difference. So this is nicely combining everything together. But we're actually not done with the Lumetri color because I'm gonna go over to basic correction and here we want to saturate it a bit more. So I'm gonna go over to saturation and I'm gonna set it up to 145 and then we're gonna bump up the highlights a little bit. So I'm gonna change it to 25. Highlights are making a lot of difference over here and the saturation is bringing it to life a bit more. Alright, we can close it down and now what we're gonna do is add a little bit of glow to SGA and again not with the glow effect. We're gonna use a different technique. So for this I'm gonna click on this layer and I'm gonna hit Ctrl D. We can rename the upper layer to SGA blur and now what I'm gonna do is apply Gaussian blur effect and over here we're gonna change the blurriness to 42. So now that's how it's gonna look, but we're gonna fix it in a second. Let's just click on repeat edge pixels and now look at the magic. Once we go over to opacity, so you can click T on the keyboard and then change it to 23% and then also go over to mode. So if you're not here, just click on the mode and change the mode to add. So now look at the difference. This is actually insane. Add mode is gonna light it up a bit more and you can always play around with opacity. So if you really want to intensify it, you can go, let's say, to 50% and then bump up the blurriness. But I want to keep it the way it was. Now before we add extra effects, I want to make this image a bit more interesting. So for this, I'm gonna add some text. And these texts are gonna be points, rebounds, and assists. So I'm gonna grab the type tool and we're gonna start with the points. I'm gonna type in 31.1. Then I'm gonna hit enter and I'm gonna type in PTS. We can change the font size to 105. And then what I'm gonna do is make sure that the points are a bit smaller. Something like that should do. And also we're gonna change the font style for the points from demi-bold to say regular. The font I'm using is Articulate, but you can go with anything you want. So we're gonna place the point somewhere here and we're gonna definitely put it below the glow. Then we're gonna have rebound, so I'm gonna duplicate this text, place it over here, and we're just gonna change the upper text to 4.3. Let's change this to REB. Alright. And we're also gonna need assist, so the upper text is gonna be 6.6 and on the bottom AST. Little adjustment and we should be good. By the way, I might have not mentioned this, but in terms of the colors, you want to use that hex code. So this goes more towards the white. So it's already looking way better with the text, but we need one more. So I'm gonna duplicate assist and I'm gonna change the text to SGA. Now let's make sure to bump up the font size. And then I'm gonna recenter the anchor point, place it somewhere here. And you know what? We're gonna go over to scale and we're gonna bump it up. So now I'm gonna put it below the text and I'm gonna apply the effect called CC Light Sweep. So now we're gonna use that effect in order to make it transparent. So for this, I'm gonna go over to light reception and I'm gonna pick cutout. Now we're gonna need to change the shape to smooth, bump up the width so we can see the full text. I'm also gonna bump up the intensity. And I'm gonna change edge thickness to 0. You can play around with the center to adjust it. So now we're gonna start the process of bringing everything together. So we're gonna colorize it a bit more and also we're gonna use some textures. So starting off with the textures, what you want to do is grab something from Texture Labs, which is gonna be paper 351 and you want to place it over here. By the way, Texture Labs is a great page, they got plenty of free resources. This is not a promo, but I'm gonna leave you a link on the screen. Alright, so now we're gonna need to work with this a bit. So I'm gonna go over to opacity and I'm gonna change it to 70%. And now what you want to do is change the mode to add. We got that paper texture which is looking really nice over here. Now we're gonna grab another texture which is grunge. I'm gonna place it over here. And this is gonna give us kind of a halftone effect. I really like this one. But first what we need to do is head over to modes and we're gonna change it to overlay. So look at that. It looks so freaking nice. So now that texture is actually giving us that poster vibe. It's consolidating everything so it looks like one piece instead of multiple separate parts. But also I think it's a bit too strong, so I'm gonna go over to opacity and I'm gonna change it to 50%. So this was before and after. By the way, overlay and add are probably my two favorite modes. Even though I don't understand the whole thing, nobody probably does. But from what I remember, this is bringing up the contrast a bit more, what we can see whenever we disable it. And add mode is intensifying the whole thing. So for example, with the texture, we remove the black background with add mode. But also, whenever we got the white parts, the brighter parts, I think they are lighting everything behind them. This is dark magic for me. This is one of the things you always use, but you never understand how it really works. Now is the time for color grading. So for this, I'm gonna right click, go over to new, adjustment layer. Let's call it color. And we're gonna apply lumetri color to this. Now we're gonna open up basic correction. And what I'm gonna do, since we got the blue color over here, is decrease the temperature to get that cold look. So I'm gonna go for, ooh, that looks nice. But I'm gonna go for something more subtle. I don't wanna go overboard. All right, I'm gonna set it at -16, and then we're gonna go over to exposure and we're gonna bump it up. All right, let's leave it like that. Then we're gonna go over to contrast. Let's make it more contrasty. Oh, and we're definitely bumping up the highlights. Let's decrease the shadows a bit. That would be too much. Okay, just a subtle touch. We're gonna bring up the whites a bit and we're gonna decrease the blacks. All right, I think we got it over here. We can correct it by going to curves and we're gonna bump up the highlights a bit and we're gonna decrease the shadows. Oh my God, so much difference. This is actually looking insane. And obviously I wouldn't be myself if I didn't go to color wheels and brought up the shadows towards the blues. Oh my God, that's looking so good. When I was creating it for the first time, it wasn't even that great. So I'm low-key excited. Now what we want to do is make sure that the viewer can focus on the middle. So we're gonna make the parts on the sides darker. So for this, I'm gonna right click, go over to new, adjustment layer, and I'm gonna rename it to vignette. Let's apply the effect. And we definitely need to bump up the amount. And also let's pin highlights a bit. So for example, the shoes are gonna be more visible. Alright, now we're gonna need another grid, so I'm gonna right click, go over to new, solid, and here you want to rename it to grid. Let's hit enter, and I'm gonna apply the effect. Alright, so here we're gonna again need a slider, so I'm gonna pick the width slider, and we're gonna change the border to 1. I'm also gonna change the color to black, hit OK, and now we got that grid over here and we need to decrease the width. So we're low-key aiming for that TV look, and when I was testing it out, the value 6 was the best. Alright, so that's what we have, and we need to fix it by adding one of the modes, which is gonna be soft light this time. Alright, so before and after, a bit better. Now what I really like applying is radial blur, so I'm just gonna show you real quick. So let's go over to new, adjustment layer, let's rename it to radial blur, apply the effect, and that's how it's gonna look, but we're gonna fix it with a mask. But first, let's place it below SGA. And now, actually this is looking pretty cool. And now what I'm gonna do is grab the ellipse tool. Let's hold shift and create a circle like that. Maybe let's lift it up a bit. I'm just gonna double click it and extend it while holding control. Alright, now let's head over to the feather. So I'm gonna click F on the keyboard. And I'm gonna probably bump it up to around 150. Now what you want to do is invert the mask. And this is looking so freaking good. So before and after. And now what we want to do is separate shade a little bit more from the background. So for this, I'm gonna head over to SGA, I'm gonna duplicate them, I'm gonna go over to the bottom layer, and I'll rename it to shade shadow. So here we're gonna apply drop shadow effect. And here you can be creative. You can, for example, bump up the distance like that, then change the color to blue. And this could be an interesting look. But I want to do something different. I want to spread out the shadow all over the place. So this is just a subtle touch that is cutting him out from the background. So I'm gonna change the distance to 0. I'm gonna bump up the softness a bit, and we might even bump up the opacity. Just don't wanna go overboard with the softness, because that way we would be covering the glow we've created before. By the way, check out how much difference the glow makes. Glow aka blur. That text over here is still blending together, so we're gonna fix it in a second, but first let's create the 3D camera. So for this, we're gonna right click, go over to new, camera. Here you want to pick 2-node camera, preset 35mm, and you can uncheck enable depth of field in case if you have it on. Let's hit OK, and I'm gonna place the camera on the bottom, and also I'm gonna create a new null object. So null object is gonna be our cam controller, so I'm gonna rename it. And then we need to make sure to parent the camera to the null. I also like to change the colors. And let me bring it up a bit more so we can see. And now we literally want everything to be 3D, so it moves together, apart from the color, vignette, and grid. So I'm just gonna turn on the cube everywhere over here. And now we're gonna need to create the distance between the layers to get that 3D feel. So whenever you have assets in different Z position, you're gonna get that illusion that it's 3D. So I'm gonna start off with the paper. I'm gonna hit P on the keyboard. And with the Z position, I'm gonna get it closer to the camera. Right, maybe something like that. And then I'm gonna hold Shift, click S, bump up the scale. And we're just gonna place that layer somehow like that. So this is gonna give us a very nice illusion over here. Once you go over to Custom View 1 and you grab the Orbit tool, you're gonna notice that we got the texture in front of everything else. And we're creating depth. So let's go back. Now we need to make sure to select the grid on the bottom and also SJPG, and we're gonna hit P and we're gonna move it away by changing Z position. Alright, once you've done that, then click S and bump up the scale for both of these. So now let me show you from the custom view 1. So now we have kind of 3 layers, one in the background, one in the middle, and one in the front. But also what I would like to do is take the points, also rebounds and assists, and put it to the back. So I'm just gonna select them 3 and I'm gonna show you from this view this time. And I'm gonna grab the Z position, which is the blue arrow, and just push it back. Now we kinda need to see how it looks on the main view. Right, not bad. Maybe even further. We can adjust it a bit. Alright, now before we create the movement, I'm gonna just place SGA text on top of the glow. And I'm gonna go over to the modes. And here you want to change the mode to overlay. Alright, so now it's nicely blending together and we can easily see the stats. And now once we add the movement, you're gonna see that it would be perfect for a documentary. So let me just show you. I'm gonna click P for the cam control 1, create a keyframe. We're gonna move it forward, let's say to the 5th second, and we're just gonna get closer. Alright, something like that should do. I'm gonna select both keyframes. I'm gonna hit F9 in order to ease. Then let's go over to the graph editor. And now what you want to do here is actually head over to the value graph. And now here you can't really change anything unless you separate dimensions. So you got 3 separate values and we only need Z. So for this I'm gonna right click, go over to separate dimensions, and here again we're gonna need to apply F9, which is Z's. We can actually only select Z position, and now I'm gonna hit F9 for this keyframe as well, and we're just gonna take that handle and drag it to the bottom. So we low-key wanna have a very rapid start, and then we want it to go slow. So let's drag that handle to the left. Let's find the sweet spot. Alright, this is looking really nice. I'm just gonna probably get closer a bit to have more movement. In the value graph you just have more control, so sometimes it's worth to go over here and tweak it however you want. Alright, it's looking absolutely fantastic. Now imagine it's a documentary. SGA scored an average of 31 points. Right, I got no voice for this. Right, this is looking so nice. I'm even gonna try to tweak it like that. And let's see. Yeah, it might be even better. That foreground texture is doing the heavy lifting here. Alright, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. Hopefully you enjoyed the tutorial, you learned something new. There was a lot of new techniques we haven't used before. So yeah, I would appreciate if you dropped a like, and you can check out the video on the screen. And I will see you in the next one. Cheers guys.